Hey, this is Panko from Panko Strength and Speed, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about Tim Tebow. Now, Tebow has become a very polarizing figure in American sports, and if you watch Sports Center or NFL Network or even Network News, and if you follow social media, people everywhere either love or hate Tebow. Now, the reasons that they hate him are infinite, and I'm not going to talk about those today. But what's a little surprising to me is that right now in the streets of Cairo, women are getting beaten, they're getting raped, and they're getting drugged through the streets, and nobody gives a damn. Tim Tebow goes 7-2, points towards the sky after a touchdown, and people get their testicles in a wad. Today I want to cover a few things that cannot be argued about Tim Tebow. And if he never plays in another game, and if he never has his throwing mechanics ever analyzed again, and if he never runs backwards after almost getting sacked one more time, these things still cannot be argued about Tim Tebow. And the reason I think Tim Tebow is starting to grow on individuals like me is because his reasons for success are very entrepreneurial. He's always got a positive attitude. Positive attitudes have defeated cancer. Positive attitudes have built billion-dollar fortunes, and they've created rags to riches stories. There's nothing wrong with being positive. Being positive is the framework of being American. I wake up today, it's maybe not what I want it to be, but there's always tomorrow. So Tim Tebow being positive, that has a huge impact on the way he plays the position of quarterback. Next, he embraces his shortcomings. He's got flaws. We've all got flaws. But all too often, people, especially in the professional sports world, get placed on such a pedestal, and they get coated with Kevlar, and they're completely untouchable. Throwing mechanics, footwork, reading defenses, pitching the ball, holding onto the ball, giving a handoff, pulling a handoff out at the last second. None of that matters because Tim Tebow has never once stood in front of a camera and extolled his virtues. And he's never once stood in front of a camera and run from his shortcomings. There's things he needs to improve upon, and he knows that, and he has embraced it. And that's one of the things that make his critics so mad. They get infuriated and scream like smashed cats when they break him down, and he does nothing but smile. Another thing about Tim Tebow is that he is never out of the game. He always thinks he can win. He always thinks he can bring the team back. There's always enough time on the clock for him to do what he has to do. And that again kind of goes back to the American exceptionalism idea. That's the story of America. No matter what our circumstance is, and no matter how little time we have to achieve that circumstance, we can always achieve it. And finally, he's got a very short memory. Does he make mistakes? Yes, but we all make mistakes. But his ability to overcome deficiencies, his ability to overcome bad mistakes, and his short-term memory make him completely unafraid to go out and achieve what he has to achieve. He's not afraid to take risks, and he embraces all opportunity. Everybody can learn a little something from Tim Tebow. Having a good attitude, not being afraid to embrace weaknesses so they can be improved upon, always having enough time to come back and win, and having a short-term memory so that you can learn from failure but not dwell upon failure, and you can turn those into successes. So like I said, no matter what happens from here on out in his football career, and whether people love him or whether people hate him, it's hard to argue the fact that he embraces all four of those things that we just discussed, and he's going to use those to his advantage in this life. And I would recommend that you use them to yours. This is Panko from Panko Strength and Speed.